I've done most of the things that need to be done.
The financial aid allocation process this semester has left many students in dire straits. While this has especially affected student parents living in university housing, the fallout of this inefficiency is widespread.
Compared to other semesters, I haven't had the best experience. I've talked to some of the people in there, and as of right now, I'm getting my budget appeal processed, and it is taking much longer than it's supposed to be.
I did have some challenges with financial aid getting started, but for the most part, it actually was a smooth process until the point where I had to submit a budget appeal. That's taken a lot longer than I expected. Of course, being a parent, you have some unexpected expenses, so it's kind of tough working with what you have, considering it's not typically for a parent. So I've had some challenges there.
I feel that the department was a bit disorganized, because then later on my financial aid was put on hold. I didn't get any of my scholarships, any of my aid to go through until a month after the start of the semester, and the reason for that was because there was some paperwork that I was not told that needed to be submitted.
It took weeks and weeks of me going in and waiting for an hour or more than an hour, even 2 hours sometimes, just because there were so many students there and the hours for financial aid were limited. And so
these problems have caused an unacceptably large portion of the student body to struggle with paying their bills, leaving many to wonder if they would lose their housing. This problem is exacerbated when students' children are affected.
I had to scramble to call my family to ask them to pitch in for helping to pay my rent, and I eventually got my financial aid, but it was a really big scare for me because I thought I was going to be homeless, and it wasn't even the beginning of it was only the beginning of my first semester at UC Berkeley. Well, I personally know a student parent who actually didn't receive her money until way after I did. It must have been like 3 or 4 weeks after, and she has a young child that she was caring for.
If parents are living in family housing, the cost of living is going to be greater, and not only that, but they also have more responsibilities with their children, and so that's a priority that they should take into consideration.
So far, I haven't gotten an eviction notice, but since I haven't gotten my budget appeal processed, I haven't gotten my car's bill paid, and it's getting to the point where I just don't have the money to pay the rent.
Especially for the parents at the village, there's some expecting moms, and I think that that really causes a lot of stress and a lot of definitely feelings like anxiety and whatnot, because they're in a really tight situation, and especially when you have an eviction notice.
I understand there should be better communication between financial aid and housing, but just as a recommendation for future people who are in the same position, you can go talk to the housing yourself. If you talk to them without financial aid having to reach out, they'll work with you.
While students are left to do unnecessary legwork to put together the pieces of their aid packages and ensure timely payment of their bills, the administration is hard-pressed to find solutions to these ills.
Well, I think that we need to end the budget cuts to education, and instead of investing our funds to capital projects that only make the regents richer, we should be able to use some of that money at least to hire more people in the financial aid office who can actually meet student needs. I really think that the school should be run by students and professors who are involved in education and who dedicate their lives to be on this campus.
I understand that the people in financial aid, the actual workers, they're not completely at fault. It's more of an institutional design problem. Maybe if they didn't have to go through the whole budget appeal process or something along those lines, where they wouldn't have to wait 2 months for the extra money that is needed like right now.
There's a lot of changes that have happened from my understanding, because like I said, this is my first semester at Cal. A lot of changes with the new financial aid system, so incorporating something that identifies student parents right off the bat would be huge.
You can see a possible way where they make it easier for student parents to get that extra bump at the beginning of the semester. Of course, it takes some logistical changes, but I think it's possible.
For the Daily Californian, this is Robert R. King.